If it ain't NFL jock, just turn that shit off.
Yo, we back with another one, man. This is What We're All Thinking podcast, Stories Behind the Craft. Today, I got a special guest for y'all. She do content. She's changing her life into another beginning, which I love to see. I love when people, see themselves and self-evaluate. So I think it's going to be a very intellectual conversation. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. Shout out to y'all. We almost close to our goal, so let's keep running it up. But without further ado, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey y'all, how y'all doing? My name is Cal. I don't know what else you want me to say. I'm Cal. I'm here.
Definitely.
Feeling great.
So word of the day.
Word of the day. Can I give you a phrase?
Yeah, I like that better.
Or PDO.
Why that word?
It's public display of obedience.
Why that?
I picked that. Well, honestly, truthfully, it came to me while I was driving here. So I'm like, but I feel like the only reason it came to me while I was driving here is because when I was at church, basically the message was, like what good are your gifts, or what good are the things that you know if you don't use them? So
Thanks.
I feel like this would be my PDO. Public display of obedience after the message that I received at church today.
Definitely. So let's get it back a little bit. Where are you from? What things you get into as a kid? Like what stuff that you were doing?
I'm from Orlando. When I was younger, I lived a pretty regular life, like nothing too crazy. I used to play sports, went to college, and then I came back home and started making music for the most part. And after that, music kind of, trickled over. It kept going. Then I transitioned into more of like the content aspect of stuff. And then now it's just, I believe it's more content based, but just like real life situations, if that makes sense.
I feel that. So what made you get into music? Because that's how I essentially kind of found you. Mm-hmm. You making music, you singing, you rapping and stuff like that. So what intrigued you about music? What made you want to make music?
What made me want to make music? I was in college and I was trying to write poetry, but it was just like, I'm like, nah, this not working. I don't know what this is. But like I could write, but it just never made sense. So then once I got back home, like I left college and I went to go live with my brother, and they were like, why you don't just try making music? So I'm like, okay. So started playing beats, and then I'm starting like writing to the beat, stuff like that. And then it was just like coming to me for real. Like if I hear a beat, it's like the beat be talking to me. So whatever I hear the beat say, I just put it on the paper.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. And you kind of discredit yourself a little bit because you be singing as well. So what? Because essentially, like I said when we talked about your singing career. Mm-hmm. So other than rapping, you sing as well. What did you have a musical background as far as your parents, or just something that you was just?
I grew up in church, so I would say I grew up singing in the choir, stuff like that. My mom sang, my dad sang, and I've always loved like music. So definitely, I feel like it was always in me, but I just never like thought that was something that I was gonna do in my life.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So pushing forward into the content aspects of things, what made you want to get in content? Because a lot of people say it's hard to get in the content space and do essentially this type of work because, you got to get involved with people. You got to be a people person and stuff like that. And especially for you, like your rollouts that you was doing throughout the time when you was really pushing the music was different. You was going hand in hand, shaking hands, talking to people, getting people to do certain stuff. So it's like, what made you want to actually, sit there and have like short conversations with people and actually touch people for real?
As far as that, I feel like I've always been a people person. So like, I feel like anybody I meet, they gravitate towards me just based off of the person that I am. So I feel like if I just use that to interact with people and like do fun stuff and just get people, excited about whatever it is, like that it may be, whatever question I'm asking, whatever the night may hold, I feel like that's the reason I kind of started to get into that, just to interact with people more.
Definitely. I feel that. I think I'm always been a people person myself. I think when you're a people person, that's kind of like a superpower.
Yeah.
Because some people don't really like to indulge with people, or they don't like to go shake hands or rub elbows with certain people because they're like, I don't really like people too much. So it's just like to see you do that, it was kind of like different in my opinion. So after that, I seen you doing the content. So now the shift that we seeing today, what made you really want to shift into going into your next chapter? Because I feel like now everybody's moving on to their next chapter, and in a sense to where it's like, okay, I want to be this. This is what I'm going for. This is what I'm doing. So what made you want to go into that next chapter and actually, do the things that you're doing now?
What made me want to transition, I would use that word, is I basically prayed one night, because I usually have dreams, and I realized that I hadn't had a dream in a while. So I just basically prayed, and I'm like, God, like, look, if this is like what I'm supposed to do, and like I need a sign, like I want you to give me my dreams back. I want to do this, I want to do that. So that night that I went to sleep, I ended up having like a very vivid dream, and I never have dreams to the point where I could wake up and write it down. But I woke up and literally wrote the dream down. So I wrote the dream down, and then I feel like me just saying that prayer and then him answering it that quick made me be like, okay, like you're listening, so let me listen to you. So that's why I feel like that's why I'm right now making that transition.
Definitely. And what now in the short amount of time you've able to do a shift so quick? Because a lot of people, it take time over time. Even though you had a out of body experience, let's put it that way, you're able to make that shift and actually do the thing that you need to do. What made you do that?
What made me do that? I feel like I've always been like battling. So like I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I choose to do other stuff because that's what my flesh wants. And because it's easier. It's like, oh, I could wake up and just do this, do that. I don't really have to work for it. But when transitioning over, the reason I feel like it was so easy for me, like I said, I had that dream. And then I ended up going to this church. It's called Alive. And it was my first time there. But on my way to church, a song played. And I've been looking for like a church forever. I could not find a church to save my life. But on the way to church, a new song had played in the car that I never heard before. It's like a gospel song. I be listening to gospel music. But it played. I was getting ready to skip it. And then I was like, nah. Someone was like, go back. So I went back, listened to the song. And then once I got to church, they do worship. They did like 3 songs. The third song was a song that played in the car. So I felt like that was my second sign, like, okay, like, I'm right here in your face. So listen and do what I need you to do so he can do what I need him to do for me. That makes sense?
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I feel like that's why it was so easy, because God's voice was so clear, but I feel like it was only clear because I was being consistent and obedient to what he wanted me to do.
I feel that. So nowadays, especially like, we in the younger generation, they talk about how we don't, seek him as much as we supposed to.
Yeah.
And I always talk about how, I understand what God purpose for me is, because like you said, you see those signs and stuff like that. And how has, now that you've chosen that route, God has helped your mental, because mental health is important. That's something that every time I sit down and do a pod, I try to touch on, because, with the stuff that's going on in the world, the wars, the terrors, all the stuff, like kids being had out of wedlock, stuff like that. So how has now your mental and your focus has been reshaped now that you're seeking him and you're being obedient, stuff like that?
I feel like, truthfully, it's been like way better than where I started at. But I only say that because a lot of the times, once you don't take that time for yourself, you can get distracted with other things. And I feel like once you do get distracted with those other things, that's why your mental gets so like clustered, because you got so much going on. You don't have no order in your life. So I feel like once I started becoming obedient, reading the word, doing like daily devotion, stuff like that, my life just feel like it's not like on a bumpy road no more. It's like, okay, I know where I'm going. So I feel like that's why now my mental is more clear, because I know where I'm going and my goal that I'm trying to reach.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So If you could look back at your old self and have that conversation, what would you tell her?
I would tell her like, like, girl, what are you doing? That's what I would say. Girl, what are you doing? And then I'll probably be like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean what I'm doing? Like, I would tell her, wake up. Wake up. That's what I would tell myself. Wake up. You know what you're supposed to be doing. Do it.
Why do you think it's so hard for us to make that switch or flip the switch and, you know, make the right decision? Why do you think that stuff becomes so hard for us? Especially like at a young age, I feel like we get attacked from so many different angles and things be happening. What is the reason for us like going through those things? Because I be seeing TikToks and, you know, when you fasting and when you putting your all into something, you always dip into the old thing, or you're always making the wrong choices, or like you messing with the same person you're supposed to be messing with no more, dealing with the same friendships you're not supposed to be dealing with no more. Why do you think it's that?
Let me see something really quick. So, I woke up this morning at like 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, and this is what like went through my mind, right? Can I read it?
Yeah.
Okay. So it says, sometimes we're not running intentionally from our calling, but it's easier to run than it is to wait. And then to my point, I put, your mind tricks you to think you're waiting. Oh, sorry, my bad.
You know, you good.
Okay, I'm gonna start over. Okay. So your mind tricks you to think if you're waiting, you're not moving. But when you're waiting, you're allowing God to move for you, not you running and allowing your flesh to lead. So what I took from that is basically, the only reason I read that is to tell you, like, it's harder for us because we're doing it at our own pace when we're supposed to be doing it at God's pace. So I feel like it's harder for us to transition to that side because we're not seeing results yet. So we feel like nothing's happening. So, but once we do see something, or like God just give you a little taste of something else, oh, thank you, Jesus. Oh my God. But that's only for like a moment. And then now you're waiting again. But you don't want to wait. You want it right then. So now you're chasing after stuff that's going to fulfill those feelings that you have or that you want in that moment. But once you wait and you get those things that you want, it's way better.
Definitely. I think, you know, hearing that is just, it's all about like isolation as well. Because in a certain point, it's like, now that you're moving into the journey, your friends might not understand, or your family might not understand, or whatever else. And it's like, how do you keep yourself centered as well? It's like, now you gotta probably isolate yourself from them friends you was hanging with before, or that guy that probably liked you. You probably gotta tell him like, hey, this is the path I'm going on. This is what I'm trying to achieve. This is what I'm trying to do. This is what God called me to do. So what does that journey look like for you in a sense?
Exactly what you just said. So I've had conversations with people that I may have been entertaining at the time, like, look, you know, I don't want you to feel like I'm being away or like I'm ghosting you to go deal with somebody else, but you know, I'm just on a different path right now. As far as friends, the same thing, like, you know, I still talk to them, but when it comes to doing certain things, I don't put myself in those predicaments to kind of take a step back. What else? I'm trying to think. As far as what that looks like for me, I would say, like you said, isolation. And then also my friend Kurt, he brought up a good example. Basically, like the things that you consume. So like once I started this transition, I stopped drinking, stopped listening to like worldly music, stopped doing like certain things that I usually do that I would do in my regular walk. But now that I don't listen to that stuff, it's just, I feel like it becomes a little bit easier once you're isolating yourself because you don't have any negative things that's feeding or pulling your flesh trying to come out. That makes sense?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially like for me, especially, you know, doing the things I do, I think, you know, when you listen to the type of music, listen to anything, you know, because the world can be so destructive. That's something that I learned. That's something that changed my mindset on a lot of things, because it's like you could be doing so well, but you could listen to a song, or you can be around certain people, or you could just always fall into that same dark hole.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, when are you going to be tired of being tired? When are you going to be like, this is it?
Yeah.
And, you know, other than the dream, did you ever feel like you was in a cycle, in a sense, where it's like same cycle over and over, same pitfall, same things that was going on? So what was that moment?
I felt like I've been in a cycle my whole life, truthfully. But I didn't realize I was in a cycle until now. But I only say that because once you're in that cycle, it just becomes like, okay, you get used to it. So I'm waking up, going to work, coming home, eating, cool. It's not hard for me, but it's like I'm used to it. So it becomes like a pattern. Just like if you practice something, you get used to it. So I feel like escaping that hole, or that, what you referred to it as?
Cycle.
That cycle, like escaping that cycle. It's just all about your mindset. Once you change your mindset, I feel like that's when you escape your cycle.
Definitely. So I always ask my women when they come sit down with me, how do you feel about the generation of women that we have now, today in age, and like, what do you think they can better themselves in?
I would say, truthfully, where I feel like we could better ourselves as women is feeling like we need a man. Because I feel like the now is like, oh, I need a man to do this, I need a man to do this, I need a man to do that, or the man need to do this, the man need to do that. But what are we going to do for ourselves? Like, at some point, if you're not used to it, when a man do it and then he takes it from you, then what? So I feel like as women, we need to start normalizing doing stuff for ourselves first, so that way once a man comes into our life and he's doing things, it's just extra. It's not, he's filling in a gap. So that way once he leaves, that gap is still full and you got everything that you've been had.
Definitely. Because I was having a conversation with a couple of different women, and they say women are aggressive, they're go-getters, stuff like that. It's just a different day and age, because, you know, back in the day, the women it was a stereotype of cooking, cleaning, stay in the house with the kids and stuff like that. But nowadays, like you said, a woman is going out there chasing the money, doing the thing they need to do. Some doing it the right way, some doing it the wrong way. You know, we got to take the good with the bad. But I always wanted to touch on that. And after that, now it's like, for your transition, you are a mother. So what's some of the things now that you're on this walk, what are some things you want to instill into your daughter, as far as like trying to show her like, okay, this is where I started, this is where I'm going. So what do you want to teach her?
I just want to teach her that it's okay to be different, and it's okay to have like morals, and it's okay to have values, instead of wanting to go for what you see. Because I feel like a lot of the stuff that we see in the world, like, oh, it look good, like everybody's gravitating toward this one person because they're doing this, so I need to do that, and then everybody will gravitate toward me. But I want her to know, like, once she grows up and she gets ready to go out into the world, like, it's okay to be different. Like, it's okay to have some type of, I don't even know what word I'm looking for, some type of like core, like some values, like morals, everything. Because I feel like a lot nowadays, morals get looked over.
That's a good point, because I don't hear that no more. Like, I got morals. Like, but yeah, because back, like, when I was growing up, like in school, like, my mama taught me morals, or I have morals. Like, like you said, that's crazy you said that, because I never really registered in my head, because it's like, you know, some people do have morals, and you understand, and then it's like the demeanor of a person as well. Yeah. You could tell. So it's like, that's crazy. I wasn't thinking about that until you said it, because it's like, back then, like, you know, I got standards, I got morals for myself. Yeah. But like you said, it's like the people see the outside. They don't know what's going on the inside. Exactly. And it's like, why do people have to, like, because I always feel like me as a person, I could be authentic as myself as I can be. Yeah. I don't try to, like, put on a facade or try to show out for different people or, you know, not scared to be different. Because it's like, I had a conversation with my guy before, and it's like, the music I like listening to, I know you ain't gonna like listen to, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being myself and enjoying what I enjoy.
Yeah.
So it's like, I never understood why people never wanted to be themselves or never wanted to keep the morals that they have for themselves. So it's like, go ahead. I know you want to say something.
You're so funny, bro. The only thing I was gonna say, I feel like people have.
Hold on. I know you're enjoying the video, but I got one quick message for you. Struggling to find balance, struggling with mental health, struggling with your path, I got the perfect guide for you. My ebook down in the link below. Click the link and get your copy today.
Have morals, but it's easier to not have morals, especially when you're trying to fit in. So the dude that you want, that you think look good, like, oh yeah, he like, oh, I like females who do this, I like females who do that, but your morals is like, girl, like, what are you doing? You finna do that? Your flesh gonna be like, yeah, if I do this, he gonna like me. And then 9 times out of 10, once you do it, he gonna like you. But now you're going back on your morals just to get something that is not even gonna last. So I feel like people just have morals, but they don't use their morals because it's easier. You get more things that you want when you don't have morals.
Definitely. So you spoke on a little bit of like the relationship tip. So now, like, how do you feel about like the relationship status thing that's going around the world? Because it's like there's a lot of fake relationships going on in the world, and a lot of people are not seeing. Because I was watching a reel, and Tupac was basically saying there's no real black love. So what you think?
As far as black love?
Black love, relationships in general.
I feel like relationships in general, I feel like this whole social media thing got people mind gone. So you may see a dude post his girlfriend, he buying her flowers, buying her this, buying her that, but you don't know what's going on behind the screen. So I feel like people are so caught up in what social media relationships look like that they try to meet somebody and automatically hop into that. Oh, I want to take these aesthetic photos and do this and do that. But what are you basing your relationship off of? Like, y'all don't even sit down and talk. You don't even know, like, his favorite color. He don't know your favorite color. You don't know what he like to eat, or you may do because you saw him post it on Instagram on his story. So, oh yeah, let me make this and he'll love this because he posted it. Everybody's going based off of social media and not real life. So I feel like
you can say
it's
that
not
again.
like authentic anymore.
And why you think Instagram is so powerful? Because I always see people talk. Me personally, I always, give a disclaimer. Instagram is not a real place.
Exactly.
Let's focus on the real, because I could post me and you right now and say we in New Orleans doing a podcast.
They're gonna believe it.
They're gonna believe it. So why do you think Instagram became such a powerful tool that everybody base their life on or things like that? Because when I get on Instagram, me per se, I use it as a tool as success.
Yeah.
So it's like, why do you think Instagram became such a powerful thing?
I think it became such a powerful thing because everybody's on there. So you got people who are famous on Instagram, just like people who are regular. So if I see, okay, you post this amount of stuff every day and your video's going viral, and okay, I could do the same thing and I'm getting ready to go viral. So I feel like that's why Instagram is so important to people, because they're using it to come up, but like none of that really even matters, because you could be posting this and posting that, it look good, but now you going home and you laying on an air mattress. Like, you posting in B&Bs and you don't got a home. You posting in rental cars, but then
you ain't got no car.
You walking. So everybody uses Instagram because they can pretend to be somebody that they not really are.
Definitely. So what about the opinionated culture? Because I feel like now everybody got their own opinion, or people are sensitive because they might take what you said about them doing what they're doing and they might be sensitive about it. So how do you feel about everybody being able to have an opinion? Because when you're going through a phase or a new chapter in your life, people tend to judge, or people get sensitive, or people have their opinions because they be like, oh, she acting like she's so godly and this, that, and the third. Like, we could be real. Like, so why do you think now people are so sensitive, or people are so opinionated when it comes to, people in their life choices.
I feel like most of those people who take offense to people just giving their opinion is if it's true. I feel like the only things that hurt me are things that are true. So if somebody watches this video and they take offense to anything that I say, it's because it's true. And maybe they need to look within themselves to figure out, like, okay, maybe I need to switch something. Or maybe I did get a little feeling when she said this, so let me go ahead and look into that. Like, let me dig a little deeper into that. But as far as people having opinions, I just feel like everybody is different. So people are going to see things different. I wouldn't take it as like, oh, anybody feel better than anybody. But maybe somebody is just a little bit further ahead than you are. So you're not even seeing it from where they're seeing it.
Definitely. I think, when it comes down to stuff like that, it's just like a simple conversation need to be had. Or like you said, just looking into yourself. Because a lot of people are not self-aware when it comes to certain things. And it's just like, okay, how can I change, or how can I, grow in a sense?
Yeah.
And you becoming self-aware, I think a lot of people being inspired by your story as they see it growing.
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, I don't know how, because I never could click that delete button on my Instagram. My Instagram was like a time machine for me.
Yeah.
So what made you change, like, literally start from zero? What made you want to just be like, all right, I'm just scrap everything and just start from zero?
This just go back to the consumption part of everything. Like, I would get on that Instagram and I'm scrolling people, in the club, drinking, twerking on cars. I'm like, oh Lord, like this, I'm just going back and I'm consuming it at this point. So I just felt like anything that was negative or anything that I didn't want to see. So I'm like, I don't care about losing the followers. I don't care if nobody can't find my new Instagram. I don't even want nobody to know my new Instagram. Unless, if you'll find it, you're supposed to find it. If you don't, you're not supposed to find it. But as far as like caring about like the followers, the people that I'm probably losing, I'd rather just start from square one, so that way I know everything is like fresh and like I'm building that page, so that way I know every time I get on here it's gonna be something motivational. It's gonna be something that's gonna fulfill me and not, like, dang, I'm missing out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That I ain't gonna lie, that takes a lot of discipline. Because I used to see people say like, oh, I'm going on a 30-day cleanse, or I'm deleting Instagram, and I'm like, if you use it the right way, I think it'll be something different.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I understand the consumption part of it and changing the lifestyle. So what do you see yourself by next year? Like, what is the goal? What is the plans? What is the mindset going into next year? Because you're already changing now, but I think in the next 5 to 6 months, you're going to be a whole nother person.
Yeah.
So what you think?
Where I see myself next year, definitely I would say ministering to people. So I feel like right now I'm at a place where I'm trying to get myself right, so that way once I do go and talk to people and like, try to get them to go on their own separate journeys by themselves, that it makes sense. So it's not like, okay, well, she trying to tell me about God, but I just looked at her Instagram story and she taking shots at Don Julio. So I'm like, I want to make sure I'm like very, very steadfast in what I'm doing, so that way next year, once I do go out ministering to people, when I do start streaming, like the certain ideas I have that I'm gonna put out there, like it all makes sense and it's all like coming from a good place instead of a rocky place. Like, oh, I'm just still kind of questioning my stand with God or questioning my faith, and then by next year I know I'll be like super deep in my faith to where everything makes sense and it'll reach the people that it need to reach.
Definitely. I think what comes with that, because I'm gonna be supporting you all the way. I think, since me and you connected, it always been a great connection. And like, I always think you like one of the most funniest people I know.
Yeah.
You make me laugh all the time. But it's like, seeing the change, I love to see people, going to their next steps. I think growing and learning and changing your mindset, especially like all the things you've been through in your life.
Yeah.
It's like, now it's like that time. So it's like going forward, it's like moving past all this. How do you feel like seeing where you came from to now? Is like, I'm in a whole nother realm.
I feel really good. I think I'm more excited about the people I'll be able to reach. So I feel like a lot of the times people start their journeys, they start getting closer to God and they're change like what they look like. But I feel like the purpose of getting close to God and like getting your life on the right track is to reach those people that look just like you, that feel like, okay, I don't have nobody that look like me that's doing it, so why would I do it? Like, I had to change myself to go to church. I gotta change myself to get close to God. No, you don't. Be yourself, and you can do it.
Definitely. I think one of the, because I'm a firm believer in you don't need to go to church to believe in God. I don't think you need. I think as long as you have that relationship with Him, everything will make sense. As long as you follow His rules and stuff like that, you can be something, or you can live in His truth and how He wants you to live. So, what you think now that you found a church? What is that thing for you to keep going every Sunday and getting your prayer and your worship and keeping your faith going?
I think church, now at the point that I am in my life, I feel like church is more, I look at it based off a community aspect instead of, oh, I gotta be here. Like, you don't have to go to church. Like you said, you can build your own relationship with God. You could do devotions at home, and you could build that relationship between both of y'all. But once you go to church, you're around people that are here doing the same thing as you, and you basically are in a good space. So it's something to go to be like, okay, you know what? I'm coming here to pray. I'm coming here for community. I'm coming here to be around people who's doing the same thing as me. So once I go out from church, I know I still have a place to come back to kind of stay grounded in a sense.
Definitely. I think, there's some lessons that need to be learned throughout that process. And what's some of the biggest lessons and, biggest, losses in a sense that you went through now that you're learning? And what's some of the toughest things that you had to get over that, you did, but, now that you're in your next chapter, what is something tough that you had to stop? You say you stopped smoking, you stopped drinking. What's some other things, and what's some tough lessons you've learned throughout the process?
I would say music. I love music. Anybody that know me know I love music. Anybody that know me know I love YoungBoy. I have not listened to anything YoungBoy at all, and that's different. So whoever watches this, and yes, I haven't listened to YoungBoy, but I feel like that was one of my toughest things, was the music. It's not that it was hard to get rid of it, but it's it was just my norm. Okay, I'm getting up, got my whole playlist ready, cut it on, go to work, come home, and then, what else you asked?
I said, what's some of the toughest lessons throughout this process?
A lesson? I would say, since I started, the lesson that I've been learning is service. So basically, putting yourself on the back burner to serve others, whether that mean okay, I was using my gifts for my gain. So oh, I post a video, I'm getting more followers, or oh yeah, I'm getting this many likes, this many comments. But now I put myself on the back burner, so now I'm going to use that same gift to service people that needs to hear things that they may not be able to understand from somebody else. So now I'm using my tools and my gifts that God gave me to service other people.
So definitely. So now with the music, the content, all that stuff, I know it's going to be a whole nother shift. Are you going to still do that, or are you going to just go into just ministering to people and stuff like that?
I'm definitely going to continue music. The same thing with ministering. I feel like I need to get in a point in my life where it makes sense. So I don't want to start making Christian rap or Christian singing music and it don't make sense. I'm not in my faith. So, but I feel like once that day comes, I'll definitely continue doing it.
Definitely. So what is some things that you want to tell other people who are trying to make that switch and trying to go on the same path you're going on and kind of indulging into that world? Because there's some people out there that might watch this and this is something they want to hear. So what is something you want to tell those young women that's a little bit younger than you or even older than you that are having issues and trying to grow and trying to switch over and give up things that they know that not doing right for them? What's something you want to tell them?
I would tell them you don't have to be perfect right away. I'm still not perfect. I slip up. I may do this. I may do that. But as long as I continue on the path that I'm going, like, I know that's what it's all for. So I don't want them to feel like you have to be perfect as soon as you start it, because as soon as you start it, it gets ugly. Like, it doesn't, oh, I gave my life to God, now everything is great, like everything is peaceful. Like, no, once you start, just be ready to, just make sure like you're ready. And then also, like, it's not hard. You just have to make sure you pray and lean on your faith, and then stay away from the people who keep trying to drag you back into the stuff that you're trying to get out of.
Definitely. You said something so vital. You don't got to be perfect. And sometimes you slip up. Some people think when you make that transition to be with God and walking in your faith, you're the most perfect person in the world. And it's like, we're human at the end of the day. And like people always say, God written our stories already. So he knows we're going to mess up. He knows that we're going to make bad decisions. And even though but as long as you try, and because he already knows what essentially what the end looks like for us and what's coming on next for us. So it's like, that's something that I'm glad you said, because people don't understand that. People think you're supposed to be perfect. People think you're supposed to just be that lady singing in the plaza. And it don't work like that. So essentially it's like, now that you're saying that, what's some things that you've done that strengthen you as well, like as far as your journey?
As far as that, I would say just making patterns for myself and gaining healthier habits. So like, I wake up, I pray. I got the Bible app on my phone, and it basically gives you the scripture of the day, give you a little video, then breaking it down, then to give you a passage, like breaking it down to where it'll make more sense for you or wherever you are in your walk. So I feel like that's something that I started to do every day that kind of keep me grounded, or kind of make my transition a little bit easier. So just coming up with a healthy routine.
Definitely. So are you in this path, in this faith? If there's somebody out there that essentially wants to talk to you, wants to be with you,
Right, he's crazy.
and they're not on the path, but they want to get that choice to like walk with you, would you allow them to?
I would tell them, and it's not no judgment, but don't do it for me because you want to talk to me. Do it for yourself.
Correct.
So once you do it for yourself and it works out for you, if it does and that's what it's supposed to be, then cool. But don't do it just trying to get next to me, and then you not really, like that for real.
Yeah, but what I do, I gotta put you in scenarios all the time, just to get a little personality, because a lot of people, they want to know these things. I want to know what you're thinking inside your head, the function and stuff like that. So that's why I put you in those, scenarios in a sense.
Nothing crazy.
So, moving forward, is there anything else that you're gonna be getting your hands into? Because I feel like Orlando and the community we have is kind of divided in a sense. There's people doing their thing here and there, but there's nobody really like putting everything together. So is there anything that you want to put your hands in or get involved with, stuff like that?
I do. If I'm gonna speak on it right now, no, because simply because I feel like a lot of things that I have spoken on in the past, people have taken it and run with it. So I'm like, it's not I don't care. It happens. It's how the world works. But more power to them. Like, I'm glad it worked out for y'all. But as far as the things that I want to do, I just want people to see it when it happens.
Definitely. So anything you want to tell the people, any game, any Bible verses, anything you want to tell the people before we get out of here?
Just be yourself. When you hear God call, listen. Like, don't keep turning your head like, oh no, I didn't hear that. You heard it. Listen. And obey.
Definitely. Your favorite scripture?
Favorite scripture, Romans 1:16. Romans 1:16.
I want to know.
I want people to look it up.
All right, I guess I'll look it up then.
Yeah, look it up after this. Please.
All right. Thank us so much for coming. This was a great pod.
I really appreciate it.
Oh, for sure. Like I said, this was a long time coming, and it happened at the right time. fresh start, new chapter. So I want to thank her for coming. I got one more episode for y'all coming soon. Road to 5,000 subscribers, road to 2 million.
Subscribe.
Definitely. So shout out to y'all. This is what we're all thinking podcast stories behind the craft. We out. Peace.